So welcome everyone to our debate on the use of generative AI, GenAI, in English classes. So today we'll explore this topic from the perspectives of four stakeholders: teachers, students, professors, and employers. Each participant will present their views, respond to others, and work together to find a common ground. So let's start by introducing ourselves and our roles.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Maylin Paredes, and I'm representing the perspective of a teacher.
Good morning. My name is William Mendez, and I'll be sharing insights as a student.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jorge Valencia, and I have the honor of presenting my perspective as a professor in today's debate.
Hello, good morning. My name is Paula. I am representing an employer's perspective.
Okay, so let's start with the debate. Well, as a teacher, GenAI has revolutionized how we plan lessons and provide resources. Tools like ChatGPT helps create lesson plans and writing rubrics more effectively. However, it also raises concerns about plagiarism and over-reliance on AI for student work. So how do we ensure that students are truly learning or not just copying answers?
From a student's perspective, Gen AI tools are helpful for understanding complex topics and practice language skills. I think that apps like Duolingo can help students to develop skills like learning new languages. But I think that it also comes with the temptation to misuse them, trying to cheat or copy their tasks. So I think that we have to work on it.
Okay, as a professor, I view GenAI as both a challenge and opportunity. It supports research and analysis, particularly in higher education. However, there is a concern that the students may lose critical thinking skills if they rely too much on AI tools. Additionally, we face the ethical questions of how to incorporate these tools into academic settings without compromising learning outcomes.
Well, so for employers, GenAI proficiency is becoming essential in the modern workplace. So employees who understand how to use AI tools are more efficient and competitive. But English classes, in my perspective, must teach students how to use these tools responsibly, as misuse could lead to poor communication skills and lack of creativity.
For William, it says you mentioned that Gen AI helps students learn, but how we can ensure that you use these tools responsibly, and how students are truly developing language skills if AI does much of the work?
I think that teachers could require us to submit drafts or show progress. That's because we have to send, for example, send teachers what are we doing in the whole process, not only at the end of the lessons. So I think that it is a good way to the teachers to observe that we are not cheating in our task. I have a question to the professor. How could professors help students learn when to rely on AI and when to think independently?
Okay, William, we can create assignments that require both independent thought and AI use, showing students how to balance the two. On the other hand, a question for Paula, employers value AI skills, but do you think over-reliance on AI weakens creativity and judgment in the workplace?
Well, it's a concern, but proper training can ensure employees use AI to enhance their skills, not replace them. So now a question for you, Marilyn. As a teacher, do you think teachers need professional development programs to confidently integrate AI into their teaching strategies?
Yes, of course. Based on training, we could give teachers the tools that they need to use AI in ways that support rather than hinder their students' learning. So continue with that. The other questions go for Professor George. It says, do you think integrated lessons on AI ethics into the curriculum could help both students and educators use these tools more effectively?
Absolutely, Marilyn. A curriculum focused on ethical AI use and critical thinking will help students see AI as a tool, not a crutch. Following on from that question for William, how do you think AI can inspire creativity rather than making students overly depend on it?
And well, I consider that the AI can help students to spark ideas, organize information. And for example, if I have task when we have to create a mind map, I think that we can search for information on how to, what are the best colors to the topic that I am going to do. But I think that it is very useful. At the end, the creative work still needs to come from us. And well, following in the topic, I have a question to the employer. As a future employee, mhm, do you think using AI could make workers less confident in their skills, or does it empower them?
Well, if used correctly, AI should empower workers by saving time on repetitive tasks and also allowing them to focus on creativity and even problem solving. Okay. So, a question for you, William, again. So, how do you think AI will change the way you work in the future? What skills do you think will remain essential?
And well, in my point of view, I think that the AI can be used to do repetitive tasks, as you mentioned before. But I consider that skills like communication, creativity, and critical thinking, this is a human thing. So I think that these things won't change with the AI. Mhm. I have a question to the teacher. Teachers worry about plagiarism, but couldn't AI detection tools help reduce your workload and spot overuse more effectively?
Well, considering the fact that we don't have the tools, it means we could detect them, but they are not perfect. So based on that, the thing more important here is that teaching, we have to teach students and obviously ourselves the value of the effort and the originality. And according to that, it says you have emphasized AI skills, but don't you think schools need better tools to prepare students for ethical and creative use of the workplace? It goes for Paula.
Well, I strongly agree. I think companies could collaborate with schools to provide training programs that teach both AI skills and soft skills like creativity, of course. So now for you, Professor George, you raised a good point about over-reliance. How can universities train future employees to balance AI with critical thinking?
Thank you for the question, Paula. Universities could design courses that pair AI training with problem-solving exercises to ensure students develop a balance. Yeah. Okay. On the other hand, having said that, Marilyn, how can teachers ensure that the students don't just rely on AI for quick answers, but develop deeper learning skills?
Well, I consider that we could create it designing assignments that require critical thinking and creativity and by asking the students to explain their thought processes. I mean, how they did, or how they did realize their homework, explaining all of the process that they have did before. Well, following the next question, it says, how it helps if teachers show examples of using AI as brainstorming tool rather than for final assignments. William.
Well, I think that it would be helpful for the students if we see AI as a tool for ideas rather than solutions. It might encourage us to work harder. So I think that using AI as a brainstorm tool it's one useful idea, but I think that there are a lot of things that you can do to engage students to work harder or motivate us. Mhm. Well, uh, I have a question to the employee. Could businesses encourage schools to teach students how to balance AI use with teamwork and problem solving?
Yes, of course. I think teamwork and problem solving are essential, okay? In my perspective, businesses could even offer activities in order to students who can improve their critical thinking and problem solving, like, for example, offering case studies or simulations to schools, of course. And now for the professor, George. Good universities benefit from collaborating with businesses to design curriculum updates for AI literacy and ethics.
Absolutely, Paula. Such as collaborations will ensure students are prepared for both academic and professional challenges. On the other hand, question for Marilyn, would it make sense to create resources for educators to learn how to use AI in lesson plans without compromising core learning goals?
Absolutely. I consider that the professional development programs focus on AI would help teachers integrate it effectively into their teaching. So it means that we basically, not only we, but also students need to be upgraded in order to help them and ourselves to improve. Okay, so let's continue. Do you think that businesses could help fund or support workshops for schools on AI integration and its practical uses, Paula?
Absolutely. Businesses benefit from AI literate workplace, so I think supporting these workshops will be a win-win for sure. So now for you, William, do you think AI makes learning easier, or does it add pressure to keep up with technology?
Well, I consider that it's both. First, it makes some tasks easier because we have the access to search any information that we require. But I think that it adds pressure for the students who doesn't know how to do that. So I think that it's it adds pressure, but it's a good way to learn and adapt to the new tools. Mhm. Well, continue with the debate. I have questions to the Professor George. Do you think AI tools like chatbots could be used in classrooms to help students practice language skills in a fun, interactive way?
Yes, William. Chatbots could make learning engaging while also providing opportunities to practice real world communication. Okay, continuing with other question for Paula. Could businesses and universities collaborate on programs that teach AI literacy while enhancing creativity in communication?
That will be ideal. Collaboration will ensure students are prepared for both technical and also interpersonal demands in the workplace. So, a question for teacher Marilyn. Could schools and businesses partnered to create real-world AI training programs for both students and educators.
course, of course, that partnerships like that would bridge the gap between academic learning and workplace needs. So George, how can universities and schools collaborate to teach both teachers and students the evaluate of the originality alongside AI?
Yeah, Marilyn, workshops or joint programs between schools and universities could focus on using AI responsible while emphasizing originality in creativity. Okay. On the other hand, question for William: what do you think about using AI for interactive classroom exercise like generating discussion topics or quizzes?
And yes, it sounds really fun, as I mentioned before. It could make engaging uh, and learning more productive for us because, well, it also depends on the teacher. If the teacher is creative, they will use the AI tools to create engaging lessons. And I think that it is the case. Students will love the lesson that they are learning. Well, I have a I have a last question for the teacher, Marilyn. Would it be helpful if students submitted drafts and revisions to show how they are using AI as a tool, not a shortcut?
Absolutely, because that would make it easier to see your progress and ensure you're learning, not just rely on AI. Basically, based on that, we could assure and engage in students to improve their knowledge. And not only them, but also us as educators. So the education would be easier in that way for both. So as I told you before, we don't need to be upgraded in the technology files, and obviously with the learning process, because as you know, we never stop learning.
So after listening all your perspectives, it seems that we agree that Gen AI has both challenges and opportunities. So how can we balance its use in English classes to ensure both learning and ethical practices?
Well, I do consider that teachers might suggest using AI as a supplement rather than a replacement. And obviously, GenAI can support lesson planning and grading, but teachers must ensure students demonstrate critical thinking and originality in order to progress every single day. And from the other hand, professional development has to have a balance to approach and integrate AI effectively without compromising learning in every single lesson plan, or yeah, in every single lesson plan and the class that we are going to develop in front of the students.
Well, in my point of view, I think that the students must be self-warned about using AI correctly as a tool to learn rather than a tool to cheat teachers or themselves. I I feel that the use of AI is generating a lot of new ideas, a lot of new material that can be useful for both teachers and the students. And if we use correctly, I think that it will be a great tool to develop us as a professionals.
Okay, to conclude, generative AI offers valuable opportunity for English classes. I suggest curriculum changes that include AI training for students, focusing on responsible usage, critical evaluation of AI generated content, on how to incorporate it into their own work. As a professor, I believe AI should complement, not replace traditional methods. By balancing both, we can create an engaging and effective learning environment for the future.
Well, employers, in my perspective, could focus on teaching AI skills that are useful in the workplace, along with critical thinking, as we mentioned during all the debate. So this combination helps employees use AI tools effectively. Also, they will solve problems and they will make smart decisions. It also prepares them to handle challenges in technology, think about ethical issues, and find also new ways to innovate. By learning these skills together, I think employees can stay competitive and contribute more to their jobs.